Sean Ryan and this guy, Sam Shoemate, are lying to you. This guy, Sam Shoemate, runs this conspiracy theory account called Terminal CWO. I actually caught him last year spreading fake emails that claimed U.S. pilots weren't getting enough flight hours because all the money was being sent to Ukraine. He's your typical garden variety conspiracy theorist. He was kicked out of the army because he didn't want to take the COVID vaccine. And I can kind of understand that. But dude, don't go around spreading conspiracy theories because you have an axe to grind. So now this guy has a new fake email. And Sean Ryan led him on his show to talk about how the Cybertruck bomber is actually still alive and he knows gravitic propulsion systems are actually being used by China in drones on the East Coast. This guy is wackadoodle, and Sean Ryan let him just talk. So regarding Sam Shoemate, I basically have a bunch of JSON data on the guy. And I told him if he lied again, what would happen, but I guess he chose not to listen. So now we're going to do it the hard way, which is actually kind of the way I prefer. So keep in mind, when you listen to this guy, he already has a history of just making up emails out of thin air. He did it.
I mean, that's right. I mean, what do we believe now? With everything going on in the way the news shares everything, we have no idea on even who to believe or what is going on. Looking at all that stuff now and seeing what's going on, I started digging into it a little bit. I was in the service a little bit and kind of got a little bit of history.
With this story, which you posted on Instagram last year.
And you got over there, that's just a little short I pulled off from one of them. I mean, this is like a full-blown, this guy's special forces, all sorts of stuff. I started looking into things, he was part of the 10th group out of Colorado, which is, you can figure out what they do and what they specialize in. They're on conventional warfare, which we'll get a little bit into that, but I went through a bunch of pages and did what I could to find a little bit of information across the board on this, because I kind of fell into a rabbit hole watching some videos on it, started doing some research. I was like, man, everybody's putting stuff out. It's all on the internet. You can search this stuff too. It's pretty easy. I mean, but do a little bit of the research yourself before you start figuring it out. And the farther I started digging and started going this morning, it started looking more and more and more like conspiracy, like, hey, we're going to throw all this stuff at the wall and see what sticks and see who believes. So I started really kind of going into it. That's kind of what I was going to go over and the farther I started looking at it, the Green Berets there's a lot of stuff and everybody knows who they are, what they are. It's out there. It's not hidden. It's not a lie. I mean, there's been movies about this stuff for a long time. Everybody should know who that is in the pictures. Special forces, they're special, they're trained a lot. So, but Sean Ryan, oops, that's the same one I just did that I started off with. But that guy's saying that one guy's a conspiracy theory and that he's lying and everything. And I mean, you got a veteran biker. I follow his stuff, watch his videos, and you go to his lives. He's going right off from what this guy said, calling him a liar. Some of this stuff I think might be clickbait. He says, is Sean Ryan hiding because of what he came out with? Maybe he is. I mean, but why is he in hiding if he went in hiding? Sean Ryan's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's trained on conventional warfare. He's trained. I'm sure he's got a bug-out bag. A lot of us veterans have a bug-out bag. But why would he run? I mean, this isn't the first high-profile thing that he's covered or kind of interview. Canada even, they gave him a cease and desist on some of his stuff. I mean, Sean Ryan's a pretty credible source, does a lot of research. He doesn't just let people on his show. He's got a team that investigates it. He knows what he's doing. So he's against the news, just like a lot of us are. But this is exactly it. Robin, you are right on course of what I was looking at. There's a lot to this that doesn't make sense. So I kept begging. So, I mean, right off from the Sean Ryan show, they said it. I mean, think about this.
Very capable guy, but he loads the Tesla up, which Elon Musk brags about being bulletproof, right? So this is one of his selling points, is bulletproof. We even saw Joe Rogan shoot an arrow at it and wasn't able to puncture this thing. So he loads up a Tesla knowing it's not explode like he wants it to with fireworks and a bunch of other junk, when he can make a car bomb that's going to level this place. Here's what I think. The Army PAO is saying that the body inside the cab did not match the DNA of his child. All right. We also know they said he was shot by a Desert Eagle. We know that there was no signature when it.
So, I mean, he's exactly right. the guy knows his research. These guys are trained. Special forces, they have EOD guys that work with them. They have specially trained explosive ordnance guys. But here's the thing. The Army came right out and said, was that a smoke and mirrors thing to make us think, okay, his son's DNA didn't match the body inside? Or is it that body inside wasn't Matt? Did he do something else there? I mean, there could be several reasons on that. But this guy is trained in special forces, in unconventional warfare, all that stuff. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to take fireworks. I mean, that's like taking a knife to a gunfight. Did he intend to hurt people? Probably not. Was he trying to get his story out? Probably. He was trying to do a lot of things, or it was pick Trump Tower. Is that, inauguration day is coming, what, Monday? All that stuff's coming soon. And why all of a sudden? We know that they put smoke and mirrors out there to hide things and to make us look another direction. But I mean, they make us like we're stupid and we can't do the research
Nobody
ourselves.
shocked themselves when it rolled up to it. You would have seen a large signature. Mr. Guns and Gear, he's on X. He goes into this a lot in depth. He's a firearms expert and he talks about this. There's no signature. So this is what happens.
Trying to hurt
you get a
nobody either.
Tesla
I think
because
he was
it
trying
can drive
to
itself to the hotel,
get a
the
message
Trump
out.
Tower.
But this
you put a
stuff gets
body in
scarier
it, roll
the
it
farther
up.
I
You
dug
don't want
into
to
this,
kill anybody because that's not the
stick around,
message
because
you're trying to send. You're not trying to
good
level the
stuff,
tower
guys.
or kill a bunch of people. So you load it up
I
with
wanted to put it out there.
fireworks and a bunch
That's
of
kinda when I
junk
was
to send
looking
a
at it. I'm
message.
just gonna put it out
And
there 'cause
we know that
you're
his
doing this.
signal
So some of
number
this
or his
stuff when I
signal
read it, I'm gonna be
safety
kinda reading it
number
for the first
changed.
time,
That
putting it
can't
out
be
there.
done unless you're
And
inside
hey, Evil Rick,
that signal account. And
I
a
know
lot
you
of
don't
people
like this
conjecture was
outlet,
the
but I wanted
FBI
to
inside his signal account,
real
whatever else.
quick
But
and
what if
flip this
he
way,
accidentally
so it's
changed his
easier
safety
for
number,
me to
goofed up
split
there?
screen
He
it.
rolled a body up in a
Um,
Tesla specifically because a Tesla can drive itself up to
Can
the
you guys hear
tower
the
and did what he
video?
did to send a message to expose his stuff.
Chat?
And he's still alive out there somewhere. Very capable guy, but he loads the Tesla up, which Elon Musk brags about being bulletproof, right?
So this thing's bulletproof, like Elon Musk said, but not only bulletproof. Welcome to the rabbit hole. That's right. Yes, I fell into the rabbit hole head first on this one. So a Tesla is bulletproof per se, okay? But this guy is trained. He did some research on this. He didn't just decide this in 24 hours to throw us together. These guys are trained in thinking. They have good brains. They're checked out. All this stuff is checked out. They go through rigorous training to get through these areas. All of a sudden, he's going to pick a vehicle that, just by design, if you look at the Tesla trucks are ugly, the Cybertrucks are ugly. There's not a good look to them. But just by the design of them, versus if you look like a Hummer or a Humvee or something like that, they're boxy, they're flat-sided, so they're not going to explode and push a bunch of shrapnel out. And just the material, I mean, that was, like he said, it was they shot it with an arrow, couldn't portray it. I think they probably shot it with more than an arrow, but that's just what they're putting out there. And
so this is one of his selling points. It's bulletproof. We even saw Joe Rogan shoot an arrow at it and wasn't able to puncture this thing. So he loads up a Tesla knowing it's not explode like he wants it to with fireworks and a bunch of other junk when he can make a car bomb that's going to level this place. Here's what I think. The Army PAO is saying that the body inside the cab did not match the DNA of his child. All right.
So the DNA didn't match his child. Are they trying to fool us here and make us think that he did this because it was he found out that it wasn't his son? No. What you have to do is you have to look at the fact that maybe there's blatantly just putting it right out there because they don't think we'll catch up to it. They don't even know if it's really his body. Hey, Ray's Motor Life, I fell in the rabbit hole head first on this. Just kind of started digging and just kind of fell in, throwing this stuff out there. But yes, I'll get to that here shortly, Robin. That is something I've checked into. I mean, I've dug into this. I spent a lot of the morning kind of just following some of these videos and slowly working I figured out how people fall in the rabbit hole very easily on this stuff. So after I watched that short and figured that out, I already been to the veteran biker thing, but let's go over here and see. see this one right here.
Here's everything we know about Army Green Beret Master Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger and the Tesla Cybertruck that exploded in front of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas on New Year's Day. There's a lot of information out there and a lot of conspiracies, and we're not really trying to get involved in that, but we're just here to present the information as we know it to be true at this time.
I'm exactly doing what that guy said in that short right there. He's a smaller channel than these other guys that are doing this. And yes, Evil Rick, I shared that earlier. That's kind of what I started. That's what started my rabbit hole off right here. Evil Rick is exactly what started it off. So these guys are special forces guys. They are a tight-knit group of people, not only in the whole operation of SOCOM and things like that, but in the individual teams. These guys are very tight. They're a very tight-knit community. They're loose-lipped. They're the silent professionals. They go by that. They go by that kind of thing. So all this stuff coming out is starting to get a little bit fishy smelling. If it smells like a fish, it could be a fish. So I found that,
as with any story like this, this is subject to change, so stay tuned. Livelsberger joined the Army in January 2006, and he served on active duty until March of 2011. He then went to the National Guard until July of 2012, where he went to the Army Reserves.
Even when he was in the Army Reserves from active forces, he was in the Special Forces Regiment of the Army Reserves from the information that I found. Not saying it's 100% true, but it's very well could be that. So we'll continue with this, guys, because he kind of got this off the same article I did, and we'll go from there.
He served in the reserves until December of 2012 when he went back on active duty, where he's been since. He was stationed in Germany as part of the 10th Special Forces Group and was home in Colorado on approved leave at the time of his death. Some of his
Now, I dug into the 10th Special Forces Group a little bit. Like I said, I'm trying not to put out misinformation. I'm only putting out what I found on the web because it smells so fishy that I just couldn't stick around to look at it. Like, if it's there, it's there. So we're going to look at this and see.
Personal awards include a Bronze Star with Valor, 4 Bronze Stars, an Army Commendation Medal with Valor, a Meritorious Service Medal, and an Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Stars. The Bronze Stars on his Afghan medal just mean that he served in 3 separate campaigns for Operation Enduring Freedom. It has been confirmed that he rented the vehicle from Turo on December 28th and drove it to Las Vegas, and that it was his body that was found inside the truck. Also,
so this guy says it was confirmed that it was his body. But who confirmed that it's his body? How did they know it? They said it was burned beyond recognition, and they released the information that it was his body awfully quick for that to be happening. Not saying it doesn't happen. There's DNA, things like that. But the DNA of the body, they said, if you remember, didn't match the DNA of his child. So
found in the truck were his military ID, his passport, a phone, a smartwatch, 2 handguns, including.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to think about it. If you want to make it look like something happened that didn't happen, you want to throw an ID and passport and stuff in there. I mean, that's the quickest way to make it look like it's somebody. It's burn up. I mean, that fire, correct me if I'm wrong, that fire looked like it was pretty hot, burning like an inferno, like they said, inside that Cybertruck. These pieces of paper, plastic-covered, laminated IDs didn't melt in that fire, but they burned the body unrecognitionable. Tell me how that didn't happen. Exactly. That's exactly where I was going with those images. So all those decorations and everything that this guy,
including 150 caliber Desert Eagle and a short barrel .308 rifle. In the bed of the truck, there were fireworks and gas cans. And in this video,
look how burned up the guns were. And the pieces of plastic identification didn't burn. Come on. I mean, we can't be that blatantly blind in this whole situation. So I continue to look at things on this, and I mean, just with the fact he's decorated and everything, it just keeps me looking back, and it just keeps going back to this. I mean, come on, Hollywood's just this. We're not dumb on this stuff. I mean, like I said, I was in the military. I did some research on my own on this, just because things just didn't add up. And how often does it happen that they don't add up? I mean, so. This is a good question also. When you have a military ID, like this guy would have, why would you have a passport? Because you would not travel with your passport. You don't travel with your passport. You travel with your military identification, which works with the passport. You have no need to have a passport with you at the same time. So we go through this news article. This news article I found is from Colorado. It's from the Colorado newspaper. It's the same kind of things that he read out. It says he was a master sergeant, which we all know that. And a master sergeant, that's a senior chief in the Navy, which is a E8. So he was E8. He'd been in for some time. He was getting close to retirement. He enlisted in 2006, 18 X-ray. 18 X-ray is a broad term special forces thing when you enlist into the Army. It makes you a candidate. It does not mean you're going to get the job. It means that they will look at you. Part of when I was reading through this, and I'll share these all in the links in the description once I get done, like I do on all my other lives, like my live at 5 so that I do. But so one thing is, when it says he pulled in, then they got it on video. He pulled into Trump Tower valet parking around 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, and within 17 seconds, the truck exploded while parked at the valet park pull-up. So they've seen this whole thing on camera. If he shot himself with the Desert Eagle 50 caliber, like they're saying, there's no flash in any of the video where gunfire went off. Nobody heard a gunfire. Nobody heard nothing. So he shot himself. The picture, the gun they're showing doesn't have a silencer on it. So there was no flashbang, no nothing from the gunfire. So that doesn't make sense itself. So fire so hot, exactly. The fire was so hot it caused steel girders to melt. Impossible. But the fine paperwork they had on them, it doesn't make sense. And that's what caused me to fall down the rabbit hole. Is I kept digging and kept looking. And yes, Harley Ryder, I put that out right in the beginning. I think he's alive. And if you watch this, you're going to see more reasons why, because of the digging that I did into this. I fell into your rabbit hole hard. I was going to send you a message, but I was like, I started watching all these different videos and I'm like, I can't believe nobody has said this yet. We are not this bad. And I'd gladly continue this later on, maybe even on yours as I get more into it. But I just wanted to kind of show people while I was doing it real time, you know, this is like, we're not this bad off. So Livelsberger body was burnt beyond recognition. The Las Vegas sheriff said by tattoos on an arm and stomach. Surveillance video and electric charging station tracking shows he was the only driver of the truck. So also Teslas have software in them, cameras, things on the inside of them, but that comes up farther down here. But he was burned beyond recognition. So skin burns faster than bone. Motobomb's a tattoo artist. I know tattoo artists, but if you're going to burn, give me just a second. All right, sorry about that. I'm had to take a quick bathroom break. I get something to drink. But yeah, so all this stuff is not making sense. There's a lot of things that are happening, and Robin's right. We are in this. I fell into this rabbit hole, and I am looking at this thing. So all of that being said, they burned his body, but tattoos are on the skin, so they're gonna burn. And if you ever seen a burned body, they're brown, crisp, and I highly doubt that there was visible tattoos that they could identify that easily to say it's body. I could be wrong there, but it just doesn't make sense. 7 people nearby had minor injuries, and several were taken to a hospital, according to officials. So the motivation is unknown, but it's not that I believe that email is right because he was trying to reach out to people. And the people that he talked to and the people that are putting that out there, I semi-believe them because they come from reputable sources and they don't just put the stuff out there because they're credible. They're not smoke and mirrors kind of people and everything like that. So I keep on reading down here. He talks to people and things about that. So he was also on a TV show with Tim Kennedy and things like that. And I dug farther in that. It all goes through this whole article, and I'm going to share that article out there. But so that brings us to the next point. So he was a master sergeant. So just for those people that don't know, the E8 is a master sergeant. You know, it tells their pay and everything, what they make. I mean, they make an okay. The hourly pay is way off because you work way more hours than that, but it just doesn't matter. He was getting ready to retire and be out of there. And exactly. But these people are putting this out, and this is things that we should forget, that we don't forget. And it doesn't make sense. And I'm sick of the smoke and mirrors thing. I mean, we need some kind of check going on there. And so he was E8. So, but Tim Kennedy and him were on a TV show.
All right, welcome back, guys. I know that we just put out a video earlier today, but this story has gotten so crazy so fast. And I know what you guys are probably expecting is me to talk about the update from the Sean Ryan podcast with that crazy manifesto in the email. Maybe we'll get to that, but this is even crazier. And I bet you guys have not seen this yet. Just came across my desk. I know from the thumbnail, the title, you guys probably think I'm completely.
So yeah, even these guys that aren't conspiracy theorists are like, man, this is a conspiracy. This guy's podcast, he's got a really good one. It's not clickbait. And I'll share his link. I mean, I watched this guy's show.
Really trolling. I swear to God. And we will just show this video right at the start that this is real. Tim Kennedy and Matt Livelsberger on an episode of Inside Edition together as teammates like a decade ago has just surfaced. To add to just the insanity and the weirdness, we have to just jump into it and let's watch. Here we go, guys.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim from the U.S. Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets.
So it shows how good he was in the service in this stuff. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that again. So now what we're looking at here is I had to relocate a little bit and get set up differently. So I'm probably going to change this a little bit here, make it easier for me to see, and we're going to go from there. So sorry, like I said, sorry about that. Hopefully we still got a few people watching, but so it's not clickbait like they said, but then I went search and I found it from the
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim from the U.S. Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets.
Matthew Livelsberger and his partner Tim Kelly, both Green Berets, appeared on the Ultimate Soldier Challenge 12 years ago.
You know, for television, they always try to make it a little bit more competitive, but we swept the whole entire show.
When he appeared,
so that's Tim Kennedy talking about it. They're right side by side. If you don't know who Tim Kennedy is, Tim Kennedy is a special forces guy that wrote a book. His book's been talked about, whether it's some of the stuff is true or not. But he was right on this TV show side by side.
Appeared on the show, Livelsberger used a shortened version of his name, Matt Bird. So it took Tim Kelly a while to put 2 and 2 together.
And then I saw a Matt Berg with a older photo of him, and I was like, oh no, dude, I know that guy. And then it just like tore my heart out because he was a really great Green Beret.
And what was he like?
Okay, so like, you really think on the TV show that when he was going by Matt Bird, that he didn't tell his teammate who he really was, that he was using a short name? No, he knew that. He's trying to cover up the fact that he knew that. In my own opinion, that's my thought on that.
He was charming. He was talented. He was personable. He was kind. He was all the things that you would expect from a Green Beret.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim.
So he's a Green Beret. We all know that they're trained in special warfare, special operations, special forces. That's why it's special forces. They got to have some training in explosives. Are you going to use fireworks, some campfire stuff, fuels, things like that for it? No, it is just huge. And it doesn't make sense. There's just more and more that comes out that makes it seem less and less believable. I mean, it's coming all over the.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
This has got to be part of a conspiracy, or something is not being told the truth. So, getting farther into this,
Welcome to a glimpse of the United States Army Special Forces, the Green Berets. As an elite special operations force, they're specialists in unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, direct action, counterterrorism, and special reconnaissance.
I mean, this is just easy stuff to find on the internet. These are shorts that are put out there, but this already says what they're trained in. Yes, it was called The Ultimate Soldier. That is what the show was called. But
born during the chill of the Cold War, the Green Berets were established as an answer to the world's growing need for specialized warfare capabilities. The Green Berets, always ready to step into the breach, always prepared to face the unknown. Stay curious, stay informed.
So stay curious, stay informed. That's a lot of what it is. I mean, this makes you curious. I mean, he's drawing you right. He's drawn us all right into the exact thing that he's trying to expose. Well, there's big channels, small channels, a lot of people are digging into this. The truth is all there, and we are trying to figure out why. So that being said, all this stuff we're figuring out is just right out in front of us. So Matt was your nephew. I highly doubt that. If he was, I'm sorry.
It hurts my toe.
So unconventional, I have no reason to lie. He could be, or he could be. I mean, he definitely could be. My condolences go to you, but I believe he's still alive. Maybe he's reached out to you in the last 24 to 48 hours. But if that is the case and he was your nephew and something like that, that's great. But I just don't think so. But I'm going to continue with my theory on this, and I'm going to have to go with a theory that it's probably not your nephew, but it's possible. I mean, I definitely think he could be alive, because there's farther that I dug into this, the more that it seems like it could be that way. So with that being said, let's go on to the next one. So that explains like a little bit of the inside view, a little short of what the Green Beret is. But one of the ways that they're trained is SERE school. And SERE school is doesn't write the name. Army's good at doing they use acronyms to shorten things up, but SERE is survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. All four of those words involve exactly what he just did that he's trained to do. Most Green Berets that are put in a situation, and even some Air Force pilots, a lot of special operation guys go to the SERE school. What is SERE?
SERE, which stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape, is a U.S. military training program. It teaches survival skills, how to evade capture, escape techniques, and the application of the military
Escape techniques and the application of military code of conduct. Evade is escape
code of conduct. The Air Force originally created the program after World War II for personnel at high risk of capture. During the Vietnam War, SERE training was extended to the other branches as well. Today, there are multiple levels of SERE training. Level C is the most advanced level and trains special operators and aircrew, as well as personnel most at risk of capture and exploitation because of their job or rank. Level C training is highly secretive, and only those who have gone through it know the details. This level puts trainees through an intense 21-day course of classroom and field instruction on SERE skills. Trainees survive in the field while being hunted by an enemy force they must evade until they are ultimately captured. After capture, trainees are detained in a mock prison where their ability to resist interrogation and exploitation is tested. The trainees are worn down mentally and physically throughout the training, which is designed to mimic real-life situations. Level B trains service members whose jobs create a high risk of capture. The most basic training is Level A, which is designed for new service members. This entry-level training covers the code of conduct for service members in hostile environments. SERE training exists to protect Americans abroad, preparing them to return home with honor.
Welcome to a glimpse of the United States Army Special Forces, the Green Berets. As an elite special operations force, they're specialists in unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, direct action, counterterrorism, and special reconnaissance. Born during the chill of the Cold War, the Green Berets were established as an answer to the world's growing need for specialized warfare capabilities. The Green Berets, always ready to step into the breach, always prepared to face the unknown. Stay curious, stay informed. Welcome to a glimpse of the United States Army Special Forces, the Green Berets. As an elite special operations force, they're specialists in unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, direct action, counterterrorism, and special reconnaissance.
At Harbor Freight, we do business differently from the other guys. We design and test our own tools.
All right, welcome back, guys. I know that we just put out a video earlier today, but this story has gotten so crazy so fast. And I know what you guys are probably expecting is me to talk about the update from the Sean Ryan podcast with that crazy manifesto in the email. Maybe we'll get to that, but this is even crazier. And I bet you guys have not seen this yet. Just came across my desk. I know from the thumbnail, the title, you guys probably think I'm completely trolling. I swear to God, and we will just show this video right at the start that this is real. Tim Kennedy and Matt Livelsberger on an episode of Inside Edition together as teammates like a decade ago has just surfaced. To add to just the insanity and the weirdness, we have to just jump into it and let's watch. Here we go, guys.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against.
All right. Yeah. I like I said, I'm just kind of going through this stuff, and I definitely would gonna fact check that guy a little bit. I did a little bit of research. I don't think he is who he said he is. Definitely don't think he's the uncle of Matt. But if he is, I'm sure there's somebody watching this somewhere watching things. So we went through SERE school, but let's go a little bit farther because his MOS, what he did, he was a RAS strategy. Okay, the RAS strategy, this is where it gets a little bit crazy. Why is RAS strategy needed? As of 2024, I gotta make this so I can read this whole thing. So TRADEC's 2014 robotics search study confirmed the utility of RAS systems based on 14 years of war. RAS platforms provide vital human standoff for dull, dirty. What it is robotics and automatic requirements. They are using maneuvering vehicles and forces on unmanned vehicles. Teslas can be self-driven. This guy has got the training and the smarts on how to use this stuff. So he knows what he's doing in this situation. It's just huge when you go through that whole thing and read on all the training that he has. So he could have very well got in there and done that. So when we go here, another channel I follow, and I look like this.
Whether you're moving across town or across the country, you can count on Pods to deliver when we say we will. Join over.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, check it out. It wouldn't be a brotherhood if we didn't poke fun at each other, right? That's one thing that we do in SF, right? Whether it's in the team room, whether it's within the company.
So I'm just going to fast forward to the part where he talks about this particular area, the 10th Special
Now,
Forces.
let's move on to 10th Special Forces Group, right? Guys, 10th Special Forces Group, they are stationed out of Fort Carson, Colorado, and they are responsible for UCOM, right? So it's not.
So out of Colorado, he was home on leave. So he's stationed out of Colorado. So we know that's true because he lives in Colorado. He was home on leave from Germany, but he's based there. That's why he left out of Colorado. I mean, this all makes sense. 10th group, it comes out of Colorado. So let's go on and figure out what the 10th group's a little bit more about.
Not uncommon for those dudes to deploy to, Sweden and some of those other places and just hit the slopes and just have a good old time while they're training their UCOM partners.
Yes, I noticed that. I definitely read all on this, and there's all so much in so many ways that this is weird.
Now, the stereotype and the stigma that follows
All right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Probably lost a lot of the viewers, but I had something I had to take care of. But so further, what we're going to do is go on to the next part that I just cannot believe the fact that they're just trying to pull the wool over our eyes so much of this whole thing that it's just so unbelievable. So this guy talking about that. These guys are trained in unconventional warfare. The 10th group is on-con guys. So when the on-con guys come back, they don't see a lot of combat service. Well, they do, but they're behind the scenes. On-con is unconventional warfare, abbreviated UW. Unconventional warfare consists of activities conducted to enable a resistance movement of insurgents to coerce, disrupt, or overthrow occupying power of the government by operating through or within an underground auxiliary or guerrilla forces. That's an older thing, but like he talks about that right here in that conversation. So go in there, and I went a little bit farther in understanding the approach. There's a video on it. Imagine that.
Understanding the U.S. Army's approach
take a
to
look at it.
unconventional warfare, a guide for success. The United States Army is one of the most prominent military forces in the world. Known for their strategic planning and successful execution, the U.S. Army has built a reputation of winning wars and conflicts through their training, equipment, and technology. However, not all battles can be won through traditional means. In situations where conventional methods fail, the U.S. Army employs a unique approach: unconventional warfare. Unconventional warfare is a tactic used when conventional military methods are insufficient or not applicable. It relies on the utilization of small units and guerrilla tactics to achieve strategic objectives. The U.S. Army has been practicing and refining this approach for decades, and it has been successful in a variety of conflicts, including the Vietnam War and the Iraq War.
Well, he's trained in
The key to
unconventional
understanding
warfare.
the U.S. Army's
and
approach to
all this stuff.
unconventional
Like there's
warfare
stuff on
is
the
to
video.
realize that
He's
it is
got
not just a
explosive
military
training. I don't
tactic,
think he
but
used
it also
firearms.
relies heavily on the understanding of the cultural, social, and economic landscapes of the target area. The U.S. Army focuses on three main pillars when implementing unconventional warfare: political, military, and economic. The political pillar is about understanding the role of the target area's government and the political ideologies that may be at play. It involves the development of relationships with local politicians, community leaders, and influential individuals. Through these relationships, the U.S. Army can establish a base of trusted allies who can provide information and support. The military pillar involves the formation of small, specialized units that employ guerrilla warfare tactics.
So they're trained. He's trained all this stuff. But then I go a little bit farther. It's still into this. The rabbit hole gets so far, and the code of conduct here. I'm going to share this. This is their motto. This is for the Green Beret.
Spectrum trae más alegría a tu hogar esta temporada. Disfruta con tu familia de tus shows favoritos con solo oprimir un...
This is the creed that these guys live by in the special forces. It's a tight-knit brotherhood.
Who am I? I'm a champion. I will conquer what's not been conquered. These will not be my creed. I will believe what others have doubted. I will always endeavor to esteem, honor, respect my team. I have trained my mind and my body to fall. Who am I? I'm a champion. I will acknowledge that my opponents do not expect me to win. But I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will look to my comrades and those who are fought and those who are training me, and I will draw strength from them. Who am I? I'm a champion. I will crash and go out to the field of battle. And I will move in everything I can do. And I will beat my field of battle at anything that my focus.
Right there. Right the creed. Oh, give me just a second. I gotta take another phone call.
Everything I can do. And I will beat my field of battle at anything that my focus. And when I get there, I will ride violently. I will rip the heart from my enemy and leave it bleeding on the ground. Because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I am a champion. To my side, I have comrades. Comrades that have been through me the biggest thing. Who sacrificed the blood to sweat and tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave an enemy behind. Because our opponent does not know my heart. Who am I? I am a champion. No one will deny me. No one will define me. And no one will tell me who and what I am. It can be. Belief will change my world. It is through continent, it is through country, it is put man on the moon. And it will carry me through this battle. Who am I? I am a champion. Defeat, retreat, those are not in my words. I don't understand those definitions. I don't understand when things go wrong. I don't understand mistakes. But I do understand this. I understand victory, and I understand never surrendering. No matter how bad things go, my heart, my mind will carry my body, my limbs through me. Who am I? I am a champion. Today will be that day. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, right here, in your house, in your home. Who am I? I am a champion. Thank the Lord, never me. Who am I? I am a champion. I will conquer what has not been conquered. He will not be in my dreams. I will believe what others have doubted. I will always endeavor to esteem, honor, respect of my team. I have trained my mind and my body will fall. Who am I? I am a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponents do not expect me to win. But I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will look to my comrades and to those who are brought and those who are training me, and I will draw strength from them. Who am I? I am a champion. I will practice, go out to the field of battle, and I will move in everything I can do. And I will beat my field of battle at anything that my focus. And when I get there, I will ride violently. I will rip the heart from my enemies and leave it bleeding on the ground. Because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I am a champion. To my side, I have comrades. Comrades that have been through me the biggest thing. Who sacrificed the blood to sweat and tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave an enemy behind. Because our opponent does not know.
That was my whole thing. I didn't do a bunch. I did some research. I'm kind of still researching. It's kind of like jumping off camera, trying to look at things. I didn't set this up as good as I wanted to for this, but I think everybody gets the idea that I don't believe everything that I see out there, and I'm trying to put that. Give me. So that I'm gonna put this one down. I got a granddaughter; she's starting to get a little antsy. But I just put all that out there of what I found. I just had a post get blocked. YouTube watching. Yes, yeah, I'm having trouble on a little bit of other stuff on the YouTube side of this. I'm gonna probably jump back on here a little bit on another platform and try to run this thing a little bit better. And see how it goes there. So everybody that tuned in, I'm glad you did. It was a rabbit hole, kind of a little bit of a shit show while it went through here. But they're definitely trying to pull the wool over our faces. And I just wanted to show you that the stuff is out there. I'll put in the description in the link. Take a look at it. See what you believe. I'll be back in a few. Doing the live at 5. Not going to cover a lot of this stuff on the live at 5. I might jump into it a little bit, but I don't want to drag it out on the live at 5 a whole lot. That's why I did a little bit of an earlier post. With that being said, appreciate everybody that came in, checked it out, and just try to figure out, is it a conspiracy theory or is it the real deal? We never know what's going on. If you want to catch a retake of this, I might run through it all again as I do a little bit more research. With that being said, we've been on here about an hour. I don't want to keep it too far down the rabbit hole with that. So, everybody, have a good day.